Well, good morning and welcome to Dads with Coffee. I'm Aaron Summers. This is Keith Warren. We're pastors here at First Baptist Church in Crowley. For all of those that may not be from Crowley that are watching, but for most of you that are watching, you know who we are. But we're really just
a couple
dads
of dads
with coffee.
Just a couple of dads having coffee.
Dads having coffee. And, you know, I've got a sermon series coming up in January. It's called Love in Motion.
Okay.
And as I think about love, of course, I think about God and I think about Jesus.
Sure.
And then my next thoughts come to Jesus being asked, what's the greatest commandment?
Right.
And he gave the greatest, and then he said, no, this one's like it.
Let me follow that up.
So he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And the second is like the first.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Bingo. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, when you think about loving people, there's a groundbreaking book that came out, 30 years ago probably now.
Yeah.
And written by Gary Chapman.
Doesn't seem like it should be that long ago.
It doesn't, does it? It doesn't. I mean, we're both now married 26 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Doesn't feel like it should be that long either. But, yeah. But...
have a sip on that.
Loving your family, loving your spouse. If I'm supposed to love my neighbor, the question came up, who's your neighbor?
Who's your neighbor?
And of course, I think the answer was that everybody is your neighbor. But if we want to make it more personal, we talk about how am I supposed to love my spouse? And the interesting thing about this book, The 5 Love Languages, is that it says that whichever one you are, that tends to be how you show love to somebody else.
Right.
But it doesn't mean they're receiving what you're sending, and then everybody gets frustrated.
And that's where
Has that ever happened to you?
That's where, oh my goodness, that's so where I'm at.
Oh, my laundry, isn't that what you usually
my
say?
laundry. So I'm a gifter.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I'm acts of service.
I love to give gifts, especially this time of year, Christmas time. I always go overboard.
Okay.
Right?
I guess I could be gifts too, but yeah.
But I don't necessarily feel that same love when I'm given a gift.
Right, because really?
Really, yeah. I love to be a gifter. But to get a gift, it makes me feel awesome and great. But it's not, I don't look, on Christmas morning, I don't look forward to my gifts as much as I look forward to everyone else getting their gifts.
Right, because that's your love language, is the giving them away.
Yeah, not necessarily receiving. Now, I'm probably more of a physical touch into words of affirmation.
Just so you know, there are 5 love languages. You have words of affirmation. You have quality time. Now, that doesn't mean quantity time. Quality time. Gifts, or the giving of gifts. Acts of service. And then meaningful touch. We've got, between me, my wife, and my 2 kids, we got 4 of the 5.
Yeah,
I mean, we're spread out. How about you?
We are, my boys are 50-50.
Okay.
So Marcus.
You don't have to name names if that would be if that would incriminate the
1
innocent.
and 3. We always tell people we have twins separated by 7 years, right? My 1 and 3 are exactly the same. My 2 and 4, when it comes to that, my 2 and 4 are exactly the same.
Okay.
In a lot of other ways, they are also the same, but especially in this. Ryan and Evan love to spend time with each other, love to hang out, love to play games, board games.
Okay.
Carter leans towards that too.
Right.
Marcus loves just being around people.
Okay.
So maybe we're all kind of quality time. They love playing Bucket Bash. If you've never heard of it, look us up on TikTok. There's an official Bucket Bash TikTok
Oh my gosh.
page. Not that I know what TikTok really is, but you know.
Who does, really? I think
My kids,
once you
your
hit
kids.
Once you hit 16, do you even know what TikTok is after that age?
Some do. I don't get it.
I don't understand it. Bunch of people doing.
There's
this,
not enough
and
dads.
I'm like,
There's not enough dads with coffee on
I'm
there.
like
There-
Travolta did that in the 70s, and you won't go watch that again. But we're going to put it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Now.
So, when it comes to this time of year, and how do we, especially me being a gifter,
Okay.
not necessarily a receiver, they always ask, Dad, what do you want for Christmas?
I don't know.
I don't really want anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I put on this year a Chiefs pop socket. It goes on the back of my phone,
$9 gift right there.
and a new set of 1/4-inch drive Craftsman ratchets, sockets.
On sale at Lowe's right now.
That's
On
right.
sale at Lowe's right now.
If you're
by the way.
watching, just saying. And so I don't.
Did you all put it on your Christmas Google Doc? Is
We
that-
do. If you
is that-
don't, if you've never, just
Did you put that on?
no,
there?
Marcus Allen. I did put it on my Google.
That's what I'm saying. Did you
Yes,
put it
I
on
put it on my Google Sheets. If you've never done this, and you think, man, what am I going to get these kids? How do I know what they want? Google Sheets. Especially if you have older
my
children that
goodness.
can operate.
Yes.
Google Sheets is the way to go. Everybody puts it on there. You can put links in there. It works just like
Oh, yeah.
Excel.
And then do they check mark it off when it's done? When it's bought? I mean, how do they
No.
not double
so
up?
we're probably going to end up with like 5 of the same gift because we didn't think this all the way through.
No, it's a trial run.
It's kids.
It's
you
trial.
know. I like to give them opportunities to
You're a
show
giver
me up.
because you're
I'm
a
a-
giver. You're just a
yeah.
giver.
If we
You're a
look,
giver.
boys, girls, if we get all the same stuff, it's okay. We all love each other equally. So, yeah, it does. These. Getting back to the
Sure.
5 love
Yep,
languages.
Yep.
I think that my relationship with my wife has thrived since she's gone back to work because I have started doing a lot more of the cooking at the house. And one of her love languages is the acts of service.
There's so many things that I could just.
Yes. Well,
I'm gonna leave all that alone.
I'm a pretty good cook, man. Leave me alone. It's acts of service. And if I can do anything for her,
Yes. Yeah.
then that makes her clock tick. That just makes her so happy. And just for someone to do something for her
Right.
just sends her over the moon.
Right. And at my house, my wife, and she hates this as her love language. It bothers her because she's a gift. She's gifts, the
Right.
receiving of gifts, and she hates it. And if you're listening, sorry, but she hates it. Why? Because it feels so selfish.
Yeah.
And it can be viewed upon, like when everybody's reading this and everybody's talking about what's your gift, she's like mum's the word.
Yeah.
Because it always felt so odd. But so I tended to be an acts of service guy. I would do stuff. I mean, I'm a
Right.
guy.
Right.
So it kind of fits.
You're a doer.
I'm a doer.
You're a fixer.
I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do it. And it took me a long time to figure out that those are not the same thing.
Right.
I would view this as a gift of to her. I have done this for you.
Right.
But after I read the book, I'm like, oh, so
Well,
that's why it's not understood in the same way.
Right. It's like when the dog brings you a dead squirrel.
Yeah.
Great. Good job,
Thanks.
Rocket.
Yeah. Appreciate
Thanks for bringing me a half-dead squirrel that I have to take care
a
of now.
half dead that you got to revive or run away from.
We won't talk about that.
Okay. So I had to figure that out and mine's changed over the years.
Mine has too.
When we first got married, I struggled a lot with confidence and self-esteem. I just, growing up, I had issues, and I had issues coming into the marriage, and words of affirmation were a big need that I had. And some of it wasn't always healthy.
Right.
I had to work through some psychological and mental things of why do I need that, and why can't I find the satisfaction just in Christ? Why do I need the approval of men? And it wasn't so much the approval as just that encouragement.
Was it more of a confidence thing, or was it a?
It was a questioning that I ever did it right. Example: every Sunday, early on, we would go walk across, because at the time we would just walk across the parking lot to the parsonage.
Right.
And we'd walk around and we'd go in. We didn't have kids, and I'd say, "How do you think it went today?"
I do the same thing.
You know, did it go okay? And I've now gotten to the point that I don't ask. I haven't asked for several years, but it just because I changed. I shifted over to acts of service was more of that, and I feel most loved and supported in the acts of service idea. I know you said yours is a little different.
Yeah, it's
Mine tends to be the both, and I love to give. And so my wife and I really works out well because I love to give.
and she loves to receive.
And she likes
Perfect.
to receive, and that's a perfect setup, and it's awesome. But you can give me gifts, and I will appreciate it. But
Same.
an example, and this is this. I feel horrible sometimes about this. So this is going to be transparent time.
Okay.
People show appreciation to people like us most of the time in cards or gift cards and things. I love getting that because
Yeah.
I just take it as an affirmation that they love you and they care for you. The difference between, say, my wife and I is I've read the card and now I'm done with the card.
Yeah, me too.
But my wife,
Oh, me too.
she's got loads and boxes
Yeah.
of cards because it was a gift. It was a part of the gift.
Now, I'll say this though. I'll say this. I have, if you've ever come to my office, you'll see my wall. And
Right.
in the Navy, we would call it an "I love me" wall.
I love me well. Okay.
Right. That's when we showed off all of our stuffs. But this is a "You love me" wall. And when I'm having a down day or a bad day,
Sure.
I can look up at the cards on my wall that people have given me with words of affirmation. Not necessarily a gift
Right.
card per se, but a card that says, "Hey, we appreciate you.
Right.
We love you. Thank you for what you do." And oftentimes there's a gift with it, but the card. So maybe I am words of affirmation a little bit, because you learn a lot about yourself just sitting around talking about with coffee.
Because this and the thing about the love language, they focused it so much on the family unit.
Right.
And it is important. I mean, that is the primary unit through which God intends to reveal himself, is through the family unit. But there is a family element in church life too.
Yes.
And that happens to be our work life
Right.
as well as our church life. And that there's a lot of blurred lines. And it's just the nature of it. And so it's easy then for at work, if we don't understand that, or if we don't understand it to the church, or the church doesn't understand it to us,
Right.
it's the same thing can happen in a marriage, is that I can be doing things, but that may not be what is wanted or needed in that time.
Or needed at that time. Yeah. So
One of our children, left to be unnamed, we called that child for even till yesterday, Touch Baby, because this particular child, it was all about touch.
okay.
And and another child, the other child, is not as much that. And so disciplinary time, one was real easy in the sense you could look at the child sternly
Yeah.
and that child broke down in tears. The other one needed some physical touch to get the point across.
Right.
Because
Right.
we tried looking sternly at the other one, and it didn't work as well. And now, so it could be negative, it could be positive.
Right.
But, in the same way in church, those that, if the church body trends toward one way, because it's an organism
Yeah.
as a unit made up of a lot of different things, but it's a unit, Paul says, it's a body, then they have a particular love language as a body. Have you ever thought about that?
I've never, ever thought about that.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
Haven't had enough time to think about it.
It just came to my mind.
We are a body. We are a unit, but made up of many
Sure.
different personalities,
Sure.
right? Many different
Right.
hands, feet.
But collectively,
We are one body.
we are one body.
Okay. Does that one body share the same love language? Is the question.
Yes.
That's your answer. So what? Okay.
Now again, blanket statements are not always effective. But
So we as a church, we're very gifted in, I'll say this, we are very gifted in giving.
yes, that Christmas family blessing. I mean, it's
Or
been wonderfully received.
every year, Lottie Moon offering,
Yes.
or Mary Hill Davis offering, or our
the
annual
Sit-Home
gift to
family.
House of Hope, the Sit Home family.
Yeah,
You're right, we're a very giving church.
right.
But I also know that there are a pile of folks that are very good at affirming with
Sure.
the words of affirmation.
Absolutely.
And they'll come up and say, "Man, I really appreciate X, Y, and Z, and you really did a great job. I love this sermon
Absolutely.
series. It was great.
Right.
That's exactly what I needed to hear." Or, man, we all know we're all COVID is killing us all of
Oh,
us
my
huggers,
goodness. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we need that meaningful touch,
Right.
that physical contact between each other. I don't know. I think I'm on the fence, as if the church is one love language,
Sure.
or if the church is a collection of
That's okay. We don't have to agree on everything.
many people
And I could
leaning
be
in.
wrong.
You could be wrong. I mean,
It's happened before.
yeah, but you were mistaken. So
Okay. I was wrong that I was wrong.
it happens.
You know, so how then, we're into Christmas time, and as I am probably firmly aware, there's a lot of parents out there that may not have bought one thing yet.
Right.
There's some husbands out there that it's not the 24th, so why should they even shop yet?
I mean, if you wait till the last minute, it only takes a minute.
True.
Don't use that one, boys.
So how then, you know, Christmas, we have made it commercial.
Right.
And I'm not over into the spiritual. I mean, okay, Christmas has become commercial. Your success for Christmas depends on how many gifts are under the tree. The kids think that way. The more gifts I have,
the better I was.
the better, not necessarily the better I was, just the better Christmas it is, in one
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But my question is, at the end of the day, we both experienced toddlers and
Mm-hmm.
elementary kids that the box became the toy that the
Oh
toy
yeah.
wasn't.
Or the toy that they needed, they just absolutely had to have.
Right. That you bought in June.
As soon as
that
they
now
op-
they don't want it.
As soon as they opened the other one, it was like, "Oh man, what was that thing? This is awesome!"
Right.
For
Right.
20 minutes.
Right. And so my question is, have we as parents unintentionally bought into the commercial side enough
Oh yeah.
that the love language isn't a part of our Christmas thinking?
Yeah, I've never given that a second of thought until right now.
So how then could it or should it change our thinking toward the gifting moment of Christmas? I mean, because gifts can be a variety of things.
Mm-hmm.
Would we be better off utilizing that as a portion of what our thinking is for Christmas? I know that blows up your Google sheet, but
I don't think it hurts one bit. And I think in some ways we do that, right? I know that my boys make an effort every year to make sure that we're all together, because that's what makes Mama happy.
right,
That we all spend time together, that we all do things together, right? Whether it be playing
Sure.
a board game or,
Sure.
or being out in the backyard, or
sure,
from the time they were, 10 and 0 till, now at 25 and 15. 16, happy birthday, Evan.
16,
Happy
16.
birthday. So that, Joanna, is big time quality time, big time acts
Right.
of service.
That's Mama Bear.
Quality time is, she'd probably score like an 80 on that. Everything else is superficial, but man, time together means
Right.
everything to her.
Sure.
And that was the
Sure.
same for her mom, right?
Right,
I think most moms are probably like that, especially as their kids get older and
right.
they're off and married and soon to be starting their own families. Not that that's any indication
Are
of
you
anything.
pressuring on
No.
on
Look,
the camera?
no.
What?
I want 3 years of happy married children before you give me my first grandchild. Hint, wink, wink. 3 years.
You're 6 months in.
Wait, no. But yeah, I think if we thought about it, you know, all four of my boys are distinctly different,
Right.
but they're very similar at the same time.
Have you found that what they ask for is commercially driven or love language driven?
It's love language, 100%. Because
Now that they're older.
yes,
And it's harder when they're younger.
yeah, Marcus is physical touch.
Okay?
You know what Marcus wants?
To be punched.
Weightlifting gear. That's it.
Weightlifting.
Weightlifting gear. That's all he wants.
Because he wants to be bigger.
Right.
The dude's huge now, man.
Ryan and Evan, you know what they both want?
I know, I
A
don't.
guitar. Because they like to play music for people. They're acts of service. Carter also wants guitar pieces because he's also acts of service.
Right.
And so they've all leaned towards things that they like that bring them enjoyment. So I think as they've gotten older, yes.
Right.
When they were younger, they wanted the newest, coolest toy.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
What kid didn't?
True. And so for our younger parents or parents of younger kids, or maybe even grandparents that are giving toward young grandchildren,
Yeah.
you know, maybe we try to find a balance between, yeah, they want the coolest toy, but at the same time, how can we make them feel loved and supported beyond that one day?
They also appreciate, you know, everybody loves to go to grandma's house, right? Everybody loves those fresh baked cookies
Sure.
that you get at grandma's house.
Sure.
And so maybe just their simple presence in that child's life on a regular basis,
Right.
knowing that grandchild knowing how much grandma really loves you and grandpa really loves you. Not to say that they don't want a gift, but
Right.
you know, sometimes the greatest gift is time spent together. And as you lose your,
For a quality time
Yes.
family, yes.
our family has changed a lot since my parents died.
Okay.
We would get together it was the Saturday after Christmas every year because mom always wanted her children to spend time with their children
Right,
at
right.
their house. Or their in-laws.
But quickly come on over.
But the Saturday after Christmas was always Mom's Day.
Okay.
Same for Thanksgiving. It was always the Saturday after Thanksgiving because we're going to save Thanksgiving Day, but I want you all on the Saturday after.
Right.
After my parents died, we tried to continue that, but as we all got older, had more kids, and some of our kids started having kids,
Right.
we just got too big.
Now you have to start your own tradition.
Right.
Maybe now you're the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
And we were. Well, we were going to be, right? But, you know, it all worked out. We had Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, and we'll have Christmas on Christmas, and
Right.
It'll all work out for us this time.
Right. But 10 years from now,
10
things
years
will be
from now, when I got
Don't give a number.
grandkids running around at
Okay,
my
there you
feet,
go.
or more grand dogs running around my feet,
Yeah, because you got a new one of those that came in this year.
that's going to be exponentially greater for me than any gift they could ever give me.
Right.
Was just to keep coming, keep spending time. Then that would be at the top of my Christmas list. I just want you at the house.
Right.
Just want you to come over.
Right.
Don't forget about me. Don't forget about
Oh
me.
my gosh.
No.
Right.
I'm not going to cry today.
So, so love language it's a big deal.
It is.
And if the top two commands of all the things that Jesus could have said, love basically was at the top.
And I love that he didn't make that up either. You know,
Yeah, it's quote.
the greatest words of Jesus, in my opinion, weren't originally spoken by Jesus.
He quoted the
He
Old
was
Testament.
quoting Scripture.
Right. Which he was the OG on.
He was the OG on. 3 in 1. Jesus walking on earth, though, you know. Yes.
But I understand.
His words weren't just words. They were words that were backed up
Right.
with the law that everyone else was trying to live by.
Right.
And the law was love.
Yes, supposed to be.
The law was love.
Right.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. And our world would be a much better place
If we would just
if we
do
could
that.
just show love.
Right.
Just show love.
And show love in a way that somebody receives.
Mhm.
And that's the whole idea, is take the time to figure out what that person wants, not what's easiest for you. Because what's easiest for you is going to be whatever yours is,
Right.
typically.
Yes.
But it takes time and effort to figure out what that person wants or needs. And as they mature, especially as kids grow up, those things adjust and they will
Yeah,
change.
and they change.
You know, seasons of life present different needs.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it's, you know, it just creates different needs. And so we have to always be aware. I think a part of loving your neighbor or family, as it were, is to not get locked in on, okay, got it figured out, I'm done for the next 50 years.
Yeah, right.
You know, but it's, you know, to always stay engaged and to stay aware so that that's being met. Because if they don't feel supported and cared for and loved,
Right.
they're going to walk away.
They will.
They're gonna walk away.
It'll be easy to walk away and never look back. So let's go be the light of Jesus.
Love God, love your neighbor. That's love and worship.
And it doesn't get any easier than that. So go love somebody today.
That's all right.
Love you guys.
All right. See you later.